we really couldn't do with that.
Right, we said all that. Don't go on about it, Paul, right? We just said it, right? I'll put that guitar in.
Alright, good.
Leave my mates on stage look like bananas.
So you used to it?
Hey, welcome back. Simon Lees here. Got another video for you. This one's a good one. Well, I think it's a good one anyway. If you've clicked on the thumbnail and you saw the thumbnail and you thought, oh my God, how can he possibly say that? I did put a question mark at the end, so if you want to leave in the comments once you've finished watching this, whatever thoughts you might have or conclusions you might have come to at the end, please do. Whatever you think, just put it all down, you know. And if you do enjoy this video, and I really hope you do, because the main reason I'm doing this is for your entertainment, which, you know, if you're a fan of shows like Fawlty Towers or One Foot in the Grave, that sort of thing, you're going to really enjoy this, I promise. Now, the thumbnail relates to being professional. So what does that mean? If you're professional, it means that you never have to say sorry.
Well, I'm sorry, boys.
Oh dear. To avoid being in a situation where you've got to apologise, it means you've got to be prepared for any mishaps that might occur. So through it's all right. I've written some notes about this because there's a good chance I'm not going to remember everything. So if you see me doing a bit of David Blunkett, you know that's what's going on. So through experience, you quickly learn the type of things that can go wrong in a gig situation, and the things that you need to do to try and mitigate that and try and avoid or either prevent or at least cope with the situations as they arise. The events in the footage I'm going to show you took place 20 years ago, or just over 20 years ago, on the 2005 Budgie tour. I am now at this point the same age that Burke was back then, and even 20 years ago I was experienced enough to know the type of things that can go wrong during a show, and make sure I've got things in place to keep the show going, even when things do go wrong, you know, so, or at least minimise the effects of things like that. So, I mean, my attitude, especially with Budgie shows, Budgie fans have paid a decent amount of money to buy a ticket to the show. I mean, they're not as expensive as they weren't as expensive as they are now. I mean, blimey, if I was still gigging with Budgie now, I'd be quids in, you know. It's like, but either way, people are still paid, you know, £10, £12 to buy a ticket. They might have travelled miles. I know people did. I mean, the two guys in particular I can think of literally travelled thousands and thousands of miles. They used to come to every single gig on the tour, you know, which is incredible. And it was great fun having them there, you know. People might have booked hotel beds, you know. I mean, that ain't cheap. So you've got a responsibility to give that audience the best show that you possibly can without any kind of cock-ups, you know. So yeah, but despite having 20 years more experience than I got, for some reason Burke didn't have any plans in place to mitigate the effect of equipment malfunctions, shall we say. So you have to bear in mind, we didn't have roadies or guitar techs or drum techs or anything like that. We did have a Glyn who did driving, snoring, and testing the efficacy man, why did I write that? Of testing the effectiveness of our van insurance, but in no way could he be described as a plan B. I mean, he could go into any supermarket or duty free and literally sniff out the worst tasting red wine that existed in that establishment and buy it, you know. That was a gift. But obviously, if something went wrong equipment-wise, he wasn't really the man to to come to the rescue. So this meant that we, like me, Burke, Steve, were solely responsible for making sure that in the event of an onstage mishap, we could keep the show going, to cause as little disruption to the show as possible and give the audience the best value for money, you know. So now, when you hear what I'm going to play here, you're probably going to think it's a little bit weird that I have candid recordings of dressing room conversations. And I've got to say, I agree with you. It is a little bit weird. But let me explain why I ended up with these recordings. Being in Budgie was a big deal for me. I mean, it really was. And like all the achievements in my life, I wanted to have a record of it, you know. I wanted to be able to sort of have something concrete that I could play to people and say, look, this is me, you know, this is me doing my thing with Budgie, you know, on stage live. I'd asked Burke several times if I could get a mixing desk recording of one of our shows. Not because I wanted to put it on eBay and try and sort of make money behind his back or anything like that. I just wanted some evidence that, you know, this is me actually playing with Budgie. Burke was always dead against live recordings of any sort, whether they were videos, audio. He just didn't want any live recordings. He wasn't interested. All he wanted to do was go out and play gigs. And he got that's where he got his kicks, you know. He loved playing live. He was a great front man, really good. And you know, but when it came to recordings, I don't know what it was, but he took no kind of pleasure whatsoever in sort of hearing or watching himself playing live. You know, each to their own, you know. When we played the Sweden Rock Festival in 2003, which was my biggest show that I've ever done, you know, it was still to this day, you know, he denied permission for the festival organisers to film our set. They filmed everybody, you know, and clips of the show would have been shown, I'm guessing, on Swedish TV at some point, or some kind of TV station. You know, that was the biggest gig I've ever done. I would have paid good money to have a recording of that myself, you know. I mean, it was something that I would love to be able to sort of show people, say, look, this was when I peaked. But no, he wouldn't allow it. And he even did a recording, or he got our sound engineer, Simon Dawson, who famous for working with John Squire from that band. I can't remember what they're called now, but yeah, indie band. He'd done a lot of work with him. He was our sound engineer for that show. So Burke gave him a mini disc recorder and some crappy leads that he got from Maplin's or whatever, and he recorded the show. He actually mentioned that he'd got these recordings when I was down at his house in Cardiff one time, and I said, "Oh man, is there any chance I can have a listen? You know, just to hear what it was like." And he wouldn't even let me do that, you know. So it was like, man, I want to get some footage of me playing live. It doesn't matter what the quality is like, as long as I can hear that it's me. I'm gonna do it, you know. So what I did, I'd got a little MP3 player, which I'll put up on the screen now so you can see it. This MP3 player had a built-in microphone, and it could record audio, you know, from the microphone. So what I thought I'd do, if we were playing somewhere where the dressing room was literally behind the stage, I'd put this little recorder in my denim jacket pocket, which was just hanging on the back of one of the chairs. And it'd pick up the audio. So the quality, obviously, is not going to be great. It was very muffled, but it was good enough that you could tell that it was me playing the guitar. You know, I've got a pretty distinctive style. So okay, it wasn't great, but at least, you know, I could sort of hear myself, and it was like that ticked that box for me. So yeah, so that's how I came by this candid backstage footage. So during the 2005 tour, UK tour, we played a place called the Memorial Hall in Battle. Battle is apparently where the Battle of Hastings took place, so it's just down the road from Hastings. It's the town where Keane come from, the band from the early 2000s, the one that hasn't got a bass player, but really good tunes, you know, really good songwriters. So the date was Friday the 21st of October 2005, and it did turn out to be one of the most extraordinary and short gigs that we ever played. So we started the show, as usual, with the Seven Dwarfs singing hi ho, you know, so we'd be backstage kind of joining in, you know, in a mine, you know, all that sort of stuff. And then we'd walk on, do the big chord at the start of the show, and then go straight into Panzer Division Destroyed, followed by Guts, Dead Men Don't Talk, and Gunslinger. So that was the first 4 songs. Everything went smooth. You know, it was great. Our 5th song was Melt the Ice Away. And this is where I'm going to start the video footage. If you listen for when Burke says the word breakdown. So when he says, "Don't you break down under hailstone." So listen to that and look at his bass when he sings that. Just get this up on the screen. Okay. Okay, it's coming up now. I mean, fair play. So what do we do in this situation? Now, in an ideal world, Burke would have had a spare bass that he could just kind of change the bass, keep playing seamless, you know. And the strange thing was, he did have a spare bass in the van. Anyway, we'll get to that. So I'm going to keep playing the video, and you'll see what happens. By the way, this video was filmed by Phil Neuman, who filmed the Maidstone one, that's the show that I put out last week. I'll put a link to that at the end of this video. That was a real good show. So yeah, so let's just see what happens, you know. Cool. So you could tell at the start of that, I was like, what the hell am I going to do? A few people were saying solo, solo. So I thought, well, I'm going to do a guitar solo anyway at the end of this show. I always did one in the middle of Bread Fan, you know, same as what JT used to do it, you know, and Andy Hart. So I was thinking, well, I need to do something that is the polar opposite of whatever I'm going to play on that solo. I mean, to be honest, the solo that I normally played was a set piece. It wasn't something that I made up on the spot. I mean, it had elements of improvisation, but broadly speaking, it was the same every night. So I had to sort of try and do, rather than just do the usual shock and awe thing, I was just really holding back and trying to play something a bit more, you know. So basically, it put me on the spot. I had to sort of think. That cheer at the end, obviously my initial reaction was, oh, they're cheering for me. They were cheering for Burke when he came back on stage. What was I thinking? So now let's just play that again, and this time I'm going to play you the audio from Backstage. So let's just go back to where that started.
Alright. Somebody's gone. I can't fucking believe it. And you went out of this so that fucking echo was. That guy's not giving me any echo on the voice. I can't hear fuck all. Fucking shit, I can't believe this. I can't fucking believe it, man. I can't fucking believe it. Who's gone? Yates Street. That fucker. I can't fucking believe it.
I don't believe it!
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you can hear how viciously Burke was stretching that A string in. You've got to stretch them, you know. You've got to make sure that the gears in the tuners are touching. If you've got any gaps in between those things, then it's bad. And you've also got to make sure that the string is tight against the tuning post. But you can hear it was, you know. So yeah, the poor string. So we went back on, you know. You can see we and the show started again. So what happened next? We played Justice from the Cookie Land album, I Turned to Stone, Rolling Home Again, which was something that I sort of pushed for us to do ever since I heard Burke recording the vocals on the remaster for Squawk. That's one of the bonus tracks that was put on the remaster. And there's just something about that song. I just loved it. I love the way the chords change and the vocal melody towards the end of each little section. Brilliant. So and plus I'd got my Slash Les Paul signature signature Les Paul, which had an acoustic pickup on the bridge. And it did a pretty passable impression of an acoustic guitar, you know, so I thought it'd be good to use that in conjunction with Rolling Home Again. So we did that, and then we started the In for the Kill medley, which was always one of the high points of the show, because we normally kind of played I Turned to Stone, which is a nice gentle song and sort of gets a bit heavier towards the end. But then In for the Kill, it's just got such a bounce to it. It was great fun to play, you know. So the medley started off with In for the Kill, obviously, and then it went into Crash Course in Brain Surgery, which, yes, that was the song that Metallica covered. And then we went into a song called Hot as a Docker's Armpit, you know, one of another legendary Budgie funny song title song, you know. So yeah, and that's where I'm going to play the next bit of footage from. Okay, so around about here I'll do. Okay, so once again, keep your eye on Burke's bass. Let's enjoy this. Now there's no well, you'll see what happens in a sec. Now, I wasn't going to do another guitar solo. I thought if Steve wants to do something on the drums, brilliant. You know, that'll at least, you know, keep the show going and also give us something unique, because Steve never did drum solos, you know, and I don't know why, because they would have been amazing. So, you know, we all kind of disappeared behind the stage, and this is the recording my little MP3 recorder picked up.
Fuck with the lights! Glenn! With the fucking lights! I don't fucking believe this. Close that door! What the fuck's going on? Fucking bastard! I don't fucking believe it. I can't believe that. Fucking right. I'm fucking pissed off with it. Fucking pissed off. 2 fucking songs fucked up. Lord. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
How can you have that in one fucking tour, let alone in one fucking night? It's just unbelievable.
I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. Can't believe it. Fucking believe it. Fucking shit. Took this bastard old goat. Can't fucking get it. Don't fucking get it. Can you switch that amp off for me, please? I don't fucking get it. Look at the back of the left hand side. I don't fucking get it.
Fucking unbelievable. I just didn't believe it when we just kept getting fucking back off.
Let this fucking go, I'll text him. Fucking shit.
That's dead fucking string, isn't it?
Yeah. No, not dirt strings, it's fucking 3 gigs and they're fucking out. That's the fucking end of it. I mean, £5 a fucking gig that works, so that. I don't know what to fucking do about it. Fucking shit! Like clacking. I don't fucking get it.
Okay, so yeah, apologise if you were offended by the language. I think, you know, sometimes people swear for the sake of it. Other times they swear when they really mean it, and you could tell he really meant it. He didn't get it either. Now it's like, if I'd have played you that without giving any sort of context, you might have thought, you know, that's terrible, you know, what on earth has happened? But when you realise that this was preventable, I mean, you've heard how vicious he was being with those strings when he first puts them on. Absolutely, like, you know, psycho. You know, so anyway, we got through the rest of the gig without any issue. And then at the end of the gig, we obviously back into the dressing room, and you can imagine what the topic of conversation was. And I think we should have a listen at those as well. So let's do it. I mean, I have to be kind of fair to Burke. He was never a guy given to apologising for when he you know, but he wasn't an idiot. He knew when he'd done something wrong, or, you know, when it caused problems, and so in this case you'll hear him being a bit contrite. So, which is fair enough. Right, let's see what. So I mean, you'll hear that, you know, the surprise that Glenn in the dressing room was. He says you wouldn't get 2 bass strings going on a tour, let alone a single gig, which is absolutely right, you know. Right, we finished Napoleon Band Part 1 and Part 2. That was always the last track before we walked off stage to see if the crowd wanted any more, and if they did, we'd go back on and we'd play Bread Fan. So at the point where we walked off, the manager was in the dressing room, and he mentioned to Burke, as you'll hear in a sec, I'm just going to explain this in case you struggle to hear what's going on. It'll make it easier if you know what to expect. That there'd been, according to the sound engineer, there'd been some complaints about the noise from the locals. This venue was bang in the middle of the high street, and Battle is basically just a village, so people living in houses pretty close by. So I mean, I can imagine, you know, it was a bit of a shock to the system. So Paul's saying to Burke, basically, we need to finish quickly, kind of thing, you know, because there's been some complaints, and you'll hear Burke's reaction. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, and I mean that.
Yeah. Complaints about the noise. We need to sort of wrap this up fairly, sort of prompt.
I don't give a shit. We're off now in a second, that's it. Look, we're a rock band.
Cool, yeah. Which is, I mean, yeah, it's a fair point. We're a rock band, you know. If there'd have been any issues with a rock band playing in Battle Memorial Hall, they shouldn't have booked us, should they, you know? Anyway, so we went back on, finished the job off, and then yeah, so then we just came back into the dressing room and started chatting about things.
Sorry about the strings, boys. Pain in the fucking arse, though.
I was all right. I thought it was after 10 when we came up.
I don't believe it. I can't believe that. 2 strings ago.
Okay, I didn't set that up very well. That was the recording that happened just before we went back on to do Bread Fam. I was mucking about on the guitar there. It wasn't random. Every time we played in a particular place, I tried to start Bread Fan by playing a tune that had some connection with the area that we were playing in. And I mentioned that Keane were from there, so I played a Keane tune. Now, of course, I couldn't remember the most famous Keane tune. You'd have to look that up. So I ended up playing a thing called Bed Shaped, and that's what that little tune was there. I say Burke managed to figure that out, which fair play to him. And then, yeah, so we went on, did Bread Fan, finished the gig, and then we got back into the dressing room and carried on chatting.
Right. Never again will I go past 3 gigs. I won't even think about it. Okay? That's all I can say. Won't happen again.
You've got to give us spare bass, though.
I know, but that one's not bloody good. I've tried it.
What about your travel?
No, because I can't play typically sound altogether. If I just leave them off for 3 gigs and take them off, they won't snap.
What's wrong with
One fucking gig over, every single fucking time, snap.
What's wrong with mine, then?
It's the action's all over the shop. It's got I have to change all the saddles because they've got the old, well, they were on mine originally. They got the old screws to stick out and rip your hands for sure.
Yeah.
You can't, try to. I forgot all about that. I've had some saddles at home like a couple.
Can we get that sorted?
What, yours?
Mine, yeah.
Yeah, as long as you don't mind me resetting it all up.
Do whatever you like with it.
Change the saddles and things.
Do whatever you like to it, Burke. I mean,
Let's get a pickup checked by my mate Spencer as well to make sure.
I plonk about me, do whatever you want to.
I will have it there for spin next time.
There doesn't seem much point in carrying it, really.
No, I know. I left it in the van most of the time.
Yeah.
I suppose I thought it might have just packed in or something. But it won't happen if I go just do 3 gigs with a set of strings.
Do the same string then twice?
Yeah, the same bloody string twice.
There's no legislation for the second one. Was it a new string that went on?
No, one's been on for 3 gigs.
Right.
I can't, if you stick a new one, it was blast the other ones apart. It's all metallic. Oh, shit. I couldn't believe it. Well, I'm sorry, boys.
But we really need to get that second one sorted out so that if you do something like that again, we can just sit on the stage and away we go.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. I will get it sorted out. You don't mind me messing.
You mess your heart's content.
I will mess it up. I mean, just change the saddles. And
do whatever you want to do to it first. It don't make any difference to me.
You can't have someone fucking put a string on so then you have to use it for one number and then
Yeah.
going back again. I wouldn't want to play the whole set.
No.
Yeah, so Steve was saying if we got a tech, then Burke would only need to play one show with one gig with the dodgy bass, if you like. So Burke was complaining that the spare bass that Paul had provided, so it was Paul's bass. Paul Cox, the manager, but he was saying that the bridge where he would rest his plucking hand had screws that kind of stuck out of the bridge and it would dig into his hand. I mean, good God, people have coped with worse over the years. And if it's the case of getting through the gig, not disrupting the gig, especially when it's your fault that problem happened, you'd kind of put up with a little bit of inconvenience. So you might have heard near the start of that, Paul says there's no legislation for the second string going. He says, was it a new string? And Burke says, no, he says this string's already done 5 gigs. So so he'd broken a string. And bear in mind, we know how he puts strings on now. You know, he bloody wrenches at them and stuff. And so he'd got a string that he'd saved from an old set and put that on, thinking that would get him through the gig. And his argument was, if he'd have put a brand new string on, then it would have blasted the other strings out, but it would have been much louder than the other strings. But in the end, he had to do that anyway, and you could not hear the difference. It sounded, you know, in terms of the mix, in terms of the out front sound anyway, there was no difference, you know. So he was overthinking it in that sense, you know, which was, but you'd think just to be on the safe side, to avoid that situation happening again, you just put a new one on, you know, and just take the hit, you know. He was saying earlier that, you know, it's costing me £5 a show. Now, I don't know, I can't remember what the per gig fee was in 2005. I know in 2004 we were getting on average £140 a gig each. Now Burke might have got more. This is what me and Steve got per gig. By 2006 that had gone up to about £220 a gig. And so, you know, assuming Burke was getting the same, £5, it's, you know, I mean, if Steve had to buy drumsticks, they would have cost more than that. And I don't know how long a set of drumsticks would last, but I mean, obviously, by definition, they get beaten up, you know. So yeah, very strange. So that was the kicker, the fact that, you know, people were like, he broke 2 bass strings in a single gig, but the second one was an old string that he'd put on. So you imagine when you take a string off, you get all those little curly bits at the top that don't straighten out again. So he was having to kind of thread that through the bridge of the bass to, you know, get it through the hole with all these curly bits kind of, you know. So I don't know how long that. Well, you can see how long that backstage footage took for him to change that string. So oh man. So anyway, we continue. We've got a few more little bits and bobs.
But we really couldn't do with that.
Right, we said all that. Don't go on about it, Paul. Right, we just said it. Right, I'll put that down.
Alright, good.
But I need to get a thing with
Super runner for me.
I could have sold that. I think that paper mate was worth done. Worth done.
Well, get out and sell it. We'll split the difference.
Stick it on eBay.
Yes, fine, thank you. I can't believe that.
Yeah, so I mentioned eBay earlier. So yeah, that was the sound engineer talking. He said he could have sold that string on eBay. So I mean, the start of that, you might want to rewind and have a listen at that again, because Paul, he said at the start, you know, we really need to get this sorted. So Burke says, don't go on about it, Paul. That was something we got very, very kind of familiar with hearing. Yeah, I mean, the two, I mean, you know, they loved each other to bits, but yeah, Burke was easily irritated by Paul. It's fair to say, and vice versa. Right, we keep going. What's next? There's only a few little bits left. I mean, this was quite nice. He's sort of acknowledging the fact that he left me and Steve on stage looking like, well, you're here.
Leave my mates on stage looking like bananas.
They're used to it.
Are you going to do a little tap dance or something, keep things going?
Yeah, quality banter. What's the next one? I should leave these on, shouldn't I? And this was nice. You know, Burke acknowledging the fact that I'd stepped up, you know, when it mattered.
You rose to the occasion on the first time round, you know, but twice.
I know.
You said this is a, oh,
I need to dig into
oh,
it. I'll strike the mics and then give you time.
Let's get some puppets or something, you know.
Yeah, one of those is Burke's, and one of mine.
Well, just do it, felt right.
One of mine.
You can do a solo now, we've got stuff, so yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
oh,
you'll get it back, don't we?
well, there you go.
Well,
He's done with it.
it's something we can laugh about later.
Yeah, one for the dial. Well, when I came off stage, Glyn was in the doorway, you know, the stick, you know. His back was there, I think he was doing something on his phone. And I kept like, out the way, Glyn! And I shoved him out the way. He went, open the fucking door!
The first time it went, I met you through the door, I was just on my way out, and I knew something was wrong, and it's like, I just made it for a quick fag. I thought, right, 4 numbers in, everything's okay, I'm going for a fag.
That was a great Paulism. I'm going for a fag. So yeah, awesome. I wanted to get that in because, as I say, it's just sort of some of the general things that would be said multiple times, you know, in the course of a tour. Oh, wrong one.
You rose to the occasion on the first time round, you know.
Right, so that's all I've got for you. You can decide whether you think Burke's actions were unprofessional. I think you probably know what my feelings are. It doesn't matter. It's a great story. Hopefully a cautionary tale for anybody who's in a band. You want to try and avoid situations. This is the sort of stuff that can happen. It causes stress. It's unnecessary. It's always preventable. You know. So yeah. A cautionary tale. I think I'll leave it there. Thanks ever so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Please subscribe, because I'd like to keep doing videos like this. You know, it's good fun doing them. I have got some little bits of Budgie related stuff to talk about. I've got loads of little stories, but that's probably the best. I don't think it gets any better than that, really. But we'll see. So hit the notification bell. I'm going to try and upload these, say, once a week if I can. And, you know, just there's going to be a mixture of like stories like this. I will be doing some guitar playing, a bit of bass playing as well. So, you know, so you can look out for those. But yeah, take care, and I'll see you on the next one.